The weather's been all over the place lately. We've had lots and lots of rain, flooding, and some really frosty nights too, but it looks like we're going to have quite good weather now. The sun is out and all the flowers are starting to come up. We even have the little beginnings of bleeding hearts down here, which should actually be blooming by May, but might be a bit earlier this year. You can see the little flower buds down there. So cute. So I just thought, because lots of things have been damaged by the rain, let's go out and pick a bouquet and try to save some of the flowers that were knocked over by the stormy weather as well. And also we can finally uncover some of the trees that I had to cover up to protect from the frost. I really did minimal coverage. Here we've got a Chilean guava that's in a really frosty pocket of the garden. So it's had a bit of wind damage, frosty tips there, but he's going to be okay. He's doing a lot better than he was last year when I didn't cover him up. There's lots of daffodils all over the shop, and you can see some hyacinths down here. They've been knocked over, they're a bit top heavy, and this one's getting a bit mushy because it was frozen. So those are the kind of things we could pick before they get too damaged. Over here we have the flowering currant, which is really starting to look pretty. I do need to cut him back a bit more, and I should have done that a bit earlier, but it's really tricky to cut things back before frosts. And over here we have my Asian pear tree, which I covered up because it was starting to bloom. And look, I can see some blossom through there. Let me just untie it in the bottom down here. I have it tied a little knot down here to keep the heat in. There he is, look at that. Lots of beautiful blossom. I do find it really tricky to focus on this tree in particular. Look at the lovely blossom, so pretty. They're looking really good. And actually not damaged. I'm really pleased with that. Gorgeous things, aren't they? They should be relatively self-pollinating. I mean, but they do actually really do well with a pollination partner. And I do have some other pear trees here, some European pears, which they can easily cross-pollinate with, but the only thing is that they are not in flower yet. So hopefully the wind will come and pollinate these guys. I might get my paintbrush out too and just do a little bit, because I really would fancy a few fruit this year. But yeah, they're looking really good. The temperature is not supposed to go any lower than 2 degrees tonight, so it should be okay to leave these gorgeous things uncovered for a few days now, and we'll just keep an eye on the weather the whole time. It's meant to rise continually, so that's going to be really nice. We might get some proper springy weather, just like it is today. I also covered my 2 pineapple guavas here, and I tend to do that because I found that last year they were really damaged by freezing temperatures, and I just thought, let's not risk that anymore this year. But I think it's nice to free them again. Oh, and look, their leaves look really good. Look at that. Beautiful glossy leaves. It's amazing really how cold hardy they are when they are so tropical, and their flowers in particular, which I haven't had any of yet, just look extra tropical. But yeah, they can be okay now for sure. Let's get the other one uncovered too. There they are. They look a little bit squashed. I'm sure they'll perk up now that they're out in the fresh air again. But these are actually the only ones I covered up. Everything else was fine to be on its own. Let's look over here quickly. This is my little Saskatoon area. Have a look. Here's a little guy. Look at all those flower buds on those Saskatoons. They are going to be amazing. They should be flowering quite soon, actually. Now this one is really interesting. He's the one that's furthest along. He's actually a dwarf called Prince William. And the thing is, he actually does need a pollination partner. The other 2 I have don't really need one, but he does require one. So I do hope that they all bloom at the same time. That's why I planted them all so close to each other, so they can all cross-pollinate. He's got so many flowers, it'd be a shame if he didn't get pollinated. But I'm sure it'll be okay. I'm sure that the other ones will bloom soon. Because over here we have one that actually does really well in a container, and he's not really, you can see he's really far behind Prince William. This one's called Slate, and he's meant to have some of the sweetest berries. He had really good ones, but he's also still very small, and I would have kept him in a container, but I didn't because I thought it'd be so nice to have them all in the ground, the same sort of area. And then here we have the largest one, and he's one that's grown commercially in Canada, and he is called Smokey. And again, he's not as far along as Prince William at all, so we'll see what happens. I'll give them a nice spring feed in the next few days and really give them a boost to get them going. They're so hardy that it's brilliant. You don't have to worry about them at all. But let me go on and try to find some flowers to pick. We really have lovely, lovely daffodils everywhere, but you can see when we get these sort of storms, they get completely bitten and broken and stuff, so it's nice to pick a few and bring them in the house. They're such gorgeous things. Ooh, over here we have a really special one. He's nestled down here. Such a pretty little thing. He's also getting a little bit eaten. But they're called Erythronium pagoda, and I might just pick one of these stems. So lovely. I always find that they look like lilies. Pretty things. So I thought it'd be really nice to fill this vase here up with a bunch of flowers. And I've got all this twisted, contorted hazel. I grow the trees just for these little stems, but actually the fact that I have 2 hazel trees, 2 of these contorted ones, means that I can also get nuts eventually, which is like an added bonus. But I love these guys. They look so whimsical and cute. Let's get picking. I'll show you the contorted hazel trees I have as well, actually. They're still quite young, but they still provide lots of these twisty stems. So here's the first one. It's in a more sunny position, so it's already starting to wake up. And then back here we have a red contorted hazel, so the leaves will all be beautiful and red. It's a nice contrast. You can see how the stems are so interesting, and it's actually up against some black bamboo. It really creates a lovely screen from the road. Really nice colouring. And unlike other bamboo, it does not run rampant at all. It just stays in one little clump. It's very clump forming. And you get to pick some of these lovely stems and harvest them and use them in the garden, which is an added bonus. Here are some I just harvested. You can see just how dark they are. They're really, really pretty. Pretty things. Okay, here's a bunch of battered flowers. I always have lots of hyacinths hiding everywhere because I love having the bulbs in the house over the winter. It just adds such a beautiful scent that I really love. A lovely perfume fills the rooms, and so we end up with tons that I plant outside afterwards, and they keep coming back every year. But I want to pick a few because some of them are really hidden, so I might as well bring them in the house and let them spread their wonderful scent. And look, hidden in there was the first grape hyacinth. Look how cute it is! You can really see that they look so similar. Some of these hyacinths have been so damaged. The birds also like to eat them. Look at all these tulips ready to start blooming too. These are ones that are reblooming from last year. I'm sure they bloomed much, much later last year, but this is like a whole row of red ones I have coming down here. How delightful. Look how tall the peonies are getting. Oh my goodness, these are the first ones that come up. These are the ones on the other side, they're the white ones, and they're just starting to show the tips of their heads. I'll just grab this fallen down one too. And here's the forsythia. It's one of the ones I just love, making flower really early, but now it's in full bloom. We'll get a few sprigs of this gorgeous golden one. And here's another example of how the birds, I think it's actually pigeons, they just completely shred the daffodils. Poor things! Look at these lovely primroses. And here's another fallen daffodil. I think it's just about salvageable. Yeah, it can look okay. Sweet, isn't it? Actually, it was growing right next to another peony over here. They're starting to push their way up. Oh my goodness, look! How sweet! And look at these honeyberries. They're just ripe for the picking. Well, the flowers are, but I'm not going to pick them because they will become berries before too long. Everything looks so dead and dry around it, and yet they're in bloom. Beautiful things. Oh, and they're right next to one of these native hellebores. Quite pretty things. I think they've got two thick stems to add to my little bouquet right now. I love these really extravagant daffodils. They're like mini ones, so cute, next to the big ones. And I'm kind of trying to tuck the daffodils away because, as you can see, this one here has like really been eaten up, but I still want to use it. And if you remember a while ago, I was showing the hellebores. They're right now, most of them are at the stage where you can pick them because they're actually in full flower. These are the actual petals of them, and they're in full bloom. So they're a lot easier to pick. There's a really long, thick stem I got here with lots of blooms on it. So lovely. So there we are, just like a big explosion of spring color. Such a treat to be able to really enjoy all the flowers. The forsythia, I just love them. They're so bendy and you can just make them be any which way you want. Just tangle them around the other flowers. Such pretty little things. And of course lots of them have beautiful scents. These ones here in particular have a beautiful smell too. So just really lots of springiness to bring into the house and enjoy and save from the rain. So much fun, so springy. Hope you're all out enjoying your springy garden. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.